Man, music, man. Music ran in my family. Pretty much just about everybody in my family on both sides is a play, sing, or write. So it was just all around us, and I had an itch for it, man. I mean, I was very small, so pretty much was in the way, but I always stayed in the way, and I'm kind of glad I did, man. You know, music is well, from a kid. I mean, it made me happy. You know, when I heard music, you know, something about it just made me move. And even now, man, you can play music around babies, and you know. So I think it's just it's a earthly / heavenly divine gift that moves people. As I got older, I started realizing the power of music. The music bridges the gap between a lot of things. I mean, race, creed, color, different languages, and to be a carrier of the gift, that's strong. Everybody's not chosen to carry the gift of music. So once I realized, after being, you know, a young child and becoming, you know, a young man, realizing the power that it has, you know, made it more of my passion, not to carry power, but to be a carrier of the gift of music, man, that can bring, you know, people together, different genders together, different races together, different whatever, man. It unifies people, man, and it's a special person to carry the gift, man. So that's why it's my passion, because I feel like I was chose out of many to be one of the carriers. So I treasure that, and when you treasure something, you keep it close to your heart. So music is that thing that I was blessed with. So I treasure it. It's my passion, man. That's why I do, and I often say there are some people, and nothing against them, it's just the way of the world, but without a guitar, I mean, on that stage, without a guitar in my hand, or me being on that stage, probably would never speak to me, you know, would never have got a chance to know the Castro and Mr. Sipp, you know. But because of that guitar, because of that stage, I'm grateful that that was a platform that I was blessed to have, to bring people into the knowing of who I am, what I'm about, what my family is about, what my city is about, what my state is about, you know. So it opens up so many doors, you know, to know more about a person, man. Started out in gospel.
But now your blues is on the rise.
Blues.
How did this even come about?
Well, what's great, I started out in gospel, man, and that was my passion, still is my passion. I think I covered it. I feel like I did everything. I've been everywhere, I played with everybody. I feel like I had maxed out, you know, in gospel. So I took 2 years off, came home, came off the road, started spending more time in my studio, doing production work, and just realized, man, I was a road rat. I was so bored at home. You know, I had missed, you know, just being gone, missed the live audience, the stage, but I didn't want to come back, you know, on the same platform that I left. Granted that I did leave, when I did leave gospel, when I did come off the road, I came off the road with a hot album. At that time I was signed with Malico, had a group called Castro Coleman and Highly Favored. We had songs out like Time Out, Hurt Before You Heal, Looking for Love, and the list goes on. But when I decided to come back, I wanted to come back as something different, but with the same feeling. And like I said, I talked about earlier that I'm grateful for the gift of music. I could have came back as a hip hop singer, because I could do that. I could write it, I could produce it. I can come back as a country singer, I can write it, I could sing it. I could have came back as a rock player, whatever, you know. But I researched blues, and it's somewhat of a lost art. It's somewhat of a lost art. I mean, like a lot of the older blues players has died out, and the few that's left are dying out. So being from Mississippi and all the greats all the great blues singers come from Mississippi, whether they migrated to Chicago or whatever, but they come from Mississippi. Just to name a few: Muddy Waters, Willie Dixon, the late great B.B. King, Bo Diddley from right here in Pike County, and the list goes on. Robert Johnson, all these cats were from Mississippi, So what better place to be born in, live in, than Mississippi to be a blues guy, So I channeled blues, got a chance to move around with Mr. B.B. King a little bit in 2012, and he really, kind of put the bug in my ear that I got that thing. And we'll talk about that thing later on, but he said, I got that thing, and that really stuck with me. So I gave it a try, man. I'm grateful for my gospel years, simply because I tell people 26 years of doing gospel music, all the teaching, the learning how to work a crowd, to connect with the crowd, the learning how to connect with the people, read the crowd, put a show together, connect physically, mentally, and emotionally with the crowd. I learned all that in gospel. Not only did I learn that in gospel, I learned how to contain myself as a young man, as a decent young man, when I'm around, be it young people, old people, middle-aged people, young women, old women. I learned respect and dignity. And I give all the credit to the church for that. So I felt like, as I look at it now, I feel like those 26 years of gospel music was preparing me for where I am today. Had I not had that training, how to talk, how to respect, how to be humble, the things that I'm seeing now as a blues singer, 10 and 15,000 people a weekend at shows, just around all kind of people. I don't think if I wouldn't have went through the 26 years of gospel and being rooted and grounded into something, having a conscience and all that stuff, I wouldn't be the dignified blues singer that I am now. One that don't get drunk, don't get high, not chasing women. And I say that not to throw a shot at anybody that do it, because what makes your boat float on. It's just what I choose to do as a young man. And the pure that I could be in my heart, the pure my music is. And the pure the music is, the more hearts and souls that it reach and touch. So that's my angle.
What keeps you performing?
What keeps me performing? If I could, this world is so dark, man. And each day it's getting darker and darker. But I was blessed with a gift, and that gift carries a light. So through the darkness, there need to be some light. And for me and all of my other sisters and brothers throughout the world, other countries, whatever, that has this gift, we are that small beacon light that's shining through the darkness. What keeps me performing is I know when I pick that guitar up, when I grab a mic, when I hit the platform, no matter what's going on in front of me, if I'm playing for an hour and 90 minutes, it don't exist. Nothing but the light of joy, happiness, peace, and love. So if I could do that on a consistent basis, maybe that little light can pull someone out of depression, out of a dark state of mind, change their way of thinking, change their hate to love, and help make the world a better place. I know that's a big swing at it, but every little step counts. Love, live, and be happy. Love, live, and be happy. Life is too short. Every day should be enjoyable day. There's going to be some ups and downs, and even through your ups, or even through your downs, find the joy in the down. The joy in all of my downs is trouble don't last always. So when you watching a Mr. Sipp show, listen to a Mr. Sipp record, it's the joy that we have. It's the joy that we promote. It's the joy that we put out. It's the high energy that we put out, you know. So if you're feeling down, it picks you up, you know. I want them to get the joy out of everything that I do. Castro Coleman is a little boy. I mean, oh my God. I'm laughing because I got like so many toys, you know. I don't know. I like to be outside. I'm a country boy. That's why I haven't migrated to the city. I can't do traffic. I like my space, you know. I got go-cars, four-wheelers, you know. I even got remote control cars, man, believe it or not, that I actually like really play. I'll be serious too. I play with them, you know. I guess doing music, it's a lot of things I just didn't really have time to do. And some of the stuff that I was able to do, like play a little ball, or I had to do it real quick because it was time to either go to church and play, go sing with my auntie. You know, it was always music, which wasn't a bad thing, but I missed a lot of elements. So now, you know, after dealing with, you know, having fun with my kids, you know, chopping it up with my wife, Castro time, I'm just a big kid, man. I'm a big kid, man. I still make little paper airplanes, man, because that's fascinating to me, you know, to try to back end off of it, stick it up like a wing, make it float longer. That stuff, man, is the real deal. I used to fish a lot, and we're gonna get back into it. Fishing was just a thing for me, man. Whether I catch anything or not, it's just being out there on the water, on the bank, you know, passing time, man. That's me, man. Let's try to name a few places. I done been everywhere, pretty much. Russia. I start with Russia because that's one of the places that I was kind of afraid to go, and turned out to be like about #1 on my list as for a great time that I had, the experience that I had. We've been to Japan, man. We've been to Europe, Germany, Canada. Oh my God, it's like so many. I wish I had my passport. I can read off some of those places that I can pronounce. But some of the states that I never thought I would go in, Wyoming, Pennsylvania, you know, I had no clue that they love blues, you know, and we're seeing more and more each year that even some of the states in the United States are lovers of the blues, man. The Netherlands, man, I talk about that experience because I'm actually the first blues artist in the world to have my handprint on their wall of fame. So that's major for me, man. To be able to be looked up as a prolific blues singer from Mississippi, from the United States, but from Mississippi, to have my handprint inducted into the Wall of Fame, along with a lot of great actors and ball players and boxers and just all different types of actors and athletes and stuff. You know, little old bitty me from Macomb, Mississippi, man. My handprint, you know, representing the state of Mississippi, is on the Wall of Fame in the Netherlands, man. So that's mind blowing, man. Well, what's upcoming in this year, 2020, man? We got a new record coming out. It's called Hypnotize, on the Mr. Sipp side. Here in 2020, the True Believers has been nominated for a Stellar Award. That's major. Let me tell you why that's major. Because out of all of the Mississippi Giants, at this point, other than the True Believers, there's 3 other groups that's been nominated for a Stellar. Three other quartet groups. And that's your Williams Brothers from Mississippi, Canton Spirituals from Mississippi, and Lee Williams and the Spiritual QCs of Mississippi. Now, those are 3 major giants. And for me to be now in that pool of giants, man, I am grateful, I'm thankful. That's mind blowing because there's other giants that didn't make it to the Stellar Awards. Might not mean a lot to some people, but I'm grateful, man. It's like on the road, those guys are the guys that raised me, the Melvins, the Dougs, the Harveys, you know. When I was out there, they told me what was right, what was wrong. when I was flat, when I was sharp, when I was playing too much, when I wasn't playing enough, you know. They gave me that professional insight to be a great leader and teacher to my guys now, you know. So to be able to share this platform, you know, win or lose, just to make it to that door with those, you know, in a category with those guys. And that's mind blowing. That's power to Mississippi.